Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for August 30th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I am here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 25 live feeds. It was day 28 in the house, and it was a day of feeds cutting a lot because of this new twist that was introduced. So we have some limited information on the state of the twist and who the top 4 vote getters were, as well as some continued drama from the previous day about the vote and this sort of war that's happening between mother and son over son's said showmance that is currently in danger. With me to talk about it all is Lita. How you doing, Lita?
Hello, back by moderately popular demand. Here we are.
Here we are.
I'm great. As always, I was terrified that there would be a lot of strategy the day before my update because we all know I'm not the best strategy analyst. However, the Big Brother gods, as usual, were very merciful to me, and they spent all day just speculating about who they thought got the power, leaving me plenty of time to catch up on showmance talk, which is, as we all know, all I care about.
Yes, really not a whole lot strategically relevant, although we do, again, continue to talk about the vote, and there's some stuff to complain about for me at least. So let's talk it through. I'm going to pull up the graphic so everyone can see what's happening here with all of these people. Cameron is the HOH. He nominated Blue and Jag. Red won the veto. He didn't use the veto. The vote is now going to be between Jag and Blue. Cirie and company were thinking, let's keep Jag around. He's a better competitor. He'll help us face off against Cam and Red. He'll also be a bigger target in front of us. But they no longer trust America and Corey after Jag ratted them out. And so they wanted to leave them out of the vote and blindside them and blame Jared and Matt's vote on them. The problem is they need Jared's vote. So yesterday on the day before on day 27, Felicia approached Jared about voting for Blue to leave, and Jared fought back pretty hard. He then talked to Cirie about it and fought pretty hard again, which forced Cirie to start considering other options. Maybe we need to just get the votes without Jared because Blue's got to go. She's causing problems with Jared. And that's kind of where we left off, was them considering, should we go to America and Corey to try to get those extra votes that we need in order to send Blue out, even if it means, going against my own son. It was kind of where we left off.
Yeah. Well, first of all, is my sound terrible? I heard that my sound was bad. Did I fix it?
I think it's good.
Okay, great. So yes, I love the Cirie going against Jared through line because it really makes me think about like how much more we get to see on Big Brother versus Survivor, where on like Blood versus Water, obviously like Sierra voting against her mom was like the biggest deal ever, but we also didn't see how much people contemplated it. Like we have no idea if they were out there on the island being like, well, like maybe I should go behind my loved one's back because we only see an hour per week. Or if it's just Cirie being an absolute beast and being like, I don't care who you are if you're my own son. Like maybe nobody is thinking that she's just on another level.
Maybe. And so, I mean, Cirie going against Jared in this vote, we head into day 28, and the conversations are still going to be running. But in the meantime, it was a little bit of a slower day, so we can stop down in on some of the other stuff happening, like Blue in America talking in the morning about their showmances, a little bit of gossiping about the showmances and how far they've gone and stuff like that. They're also going to, more fun to me, complain about Cam and how creepy he is. And America talks about how Cam, and this has been a thing that's been talked about, but we haven't really had time to talk about it, how Cam made this like really creepy comment to her about like how, hey, there's no cameras in the jury house. And she was like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, me, because this was before like like the her and Corey stuff. But then once the her and Corey thing happened, he said it to Corey. And she was like, what is happening? Why are you saying this? It's really weird. It's really creepy. He was creepy with Riley. He's being creepy with me. She doesn't like it. Blue said, oh, he's creepy with me too. He gave me his shorts. And like, yeah, he gave me his shorts. They're booty shorts.
Mm. Yeah. I can't say I've ever been drawn to a man by him giving me his shorts.
I mean, hey, maybe Cam is just on a different level, you know?
I guess. Yeah, so he was saying that, right, because Corey was like, I don't want to go all the way because of the cameras.
Mhm.
So what, Cam is trying to like wingman for him and being like, hey, if you guys just make it to jury, you get to shack up. That's so
Well, see,
weird.
America got the sense that like, because this happened before all of that, that like Cameron was like actually just talking, like making comments about no camera. And then when the Corey thing happened, she was like, he said it to me like out of the blue, just out of nowhere said it to me, and it was like, is he trying to imply that we could do something in the jury house with no cameras, or is he just saying it like, oh, no cameras in the jury house? It's theoretically an innocent comment that doesn't need to mean sexual things. But then after the Corey stuff happened, he said it to Corey in a way that clearly meant sexual things, which is making her go back and reevaluate again. Like, okay, it was definitely weird.
Well, also, even if it is a comment just completely out of the blue, apropos of nothing, that's like a really weird thing to say. It's just like coming up to somebody and be like, hey, no cameras in the jury house. Like, okay. Thank you for that.
Yes. So funny enough, right after that conversation, let's talk about how Cam and Red are talking. Because Cam, after the night of Corey in America hanging out and having fun, is gonna start talking about how Corey is a problem. He says, listen, if you took a poll of everyone in the house about Corey, they'd all say they feel good about him. And that's a problem. He is dangerous. He's like the Dr. Will. He's going to make it into the end game and he's going to start winning all the competitions, just like Dr. Will. And Red says, oh, no, Corey is fine. America is the problem. She is smart. She's sneaky. And I don't even talk to her because I know that if I do talk to her, the only thing I could say to her is, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. That's the only thing I could say to her. Everything else would be nonsense, and I just can't say anything else to her. And then that would be a target. So I can't talk to her at all. You know, her, Blue, and Mimi, they all have similar personalities, except America is willing to use her womanly wiles to get what she wants, which makes it even worse somehow.
These three hot girls are all exactly the same. I know, even though I refuse to talk to them because I won't be able to say anything except I don't trust you, but I just know that they're all exactly the same.
Yeah, it really gave off like I no, you
Devil woman.
Your womanly wiles don't work on me. I don't trust you.
Feminine wiles, womanly wiles. Oh, that's so weird. Also, like, first of all, I would love it if Corey was Dr. Will. And we just haven't seen it yet. He's playing so far under the radar that he's actually the next coming of Dr. Will. But also, yeah, it's just I don't know if it's jealousy or just misogyny. But it's so funny to me because it's like Blue is the one that's actually like gone all the way in the house, but she won't use her feminine or her womanly wiles. It's just America.
Well, yeah, I mean, America's a problem. But don't worry, Cam's here. He'll disagree. He says, "No, you're wrong about America. She's not smart." After After all that stuff with Corey the other night as well, off with her. But listen, don't give her that much credit. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's just the fancy car. Corey is the engine.
It's just like a perfect distillation of the two types of misogyny you see on reality TV over and over again, which is like you see a hot girl and she's either Parvati and she's gonna use her body to
Her womanly wiles.
spin you every which way, and she's secretly a genius in a bikini. Or no, she's dumb. She is a young hot woman. How could she be smart? She's clearly only like the vehicle for, like, literally objectifying her, the vehicle for a man who is the second coming of Dr. Will. But it's so funny. It's like a training video on like how to come off horribly on live feeds.
I was watching this conversation. It's like they're literally arguing for two different, like, terrible perspectives on women.
Yeah.
But don't worry, they've got more to say. They talk about Mimi. Red says, "Oh, Mimi, she's so selfish, self-centered. It's from her upbringing, and it shows. Just the way that she acts, just no good."
I don't know anything about her upbringing. Is there something specific he's
Single,
referring to?
only child.
Okay.
Only child, self-centered. Yeah.
Okay.
But he'll tell you
Sure.
one thing, Red. He'll tell you one thing. If Cerie says something, you can take that to the bank.
The person that we just have the absolute most information about how they play a game like this. They're like, yeah, she's 100% good. America, who I've known for 28 days and won't have a conversation with, she's sneaky though.
Well, womanly wiles. But Cerie, take that to the bank. I trust her.
Good. We love it.
Then they start noticing that Blue is talking to Izzy on the HOH monitor in the kitchen. They're like, "Oh, what are they talking about?" Red's like, Hold on. Let me read their lips." And to be fair, he did catch a phrase, which I was surprised about, because this whole thing about Red being the one to read lips when Matt is in the house, who said he could read lips prior to entering, was very funny to me. But to his credit, he caught most of a phrase. But also, like, would have been easy to guess, because what she did was she ran and got the shorts that Cam gave her and was like, "These are the shorts Cam gave me." And Red was like, "She's saying, why does a man have such short shorts?" It's like, close enough.
I don't think you need to read lips to read a disgusted look on a woman's face holding up shorts and being like, why does a man have these shorts? It's easier to read lips when people are doing charades. I want to point that out. I can also read lips if people are acting out what they're saying. To be clear, I don't have a problem with men wearing very short shorts. I just want to say that, but keep them to yourself. Don't unsolicited gift them to a woman.
Yes. Jared's going to talk to Matt. Jared is still on the campaign trail trying to save Blue. He tries, and from Jared's perspective, he's trying to just get at least one person who will agree with him so that he can go back to his mom and be like, see, Matt agrees. He tried with Felicia, didn't bite. He tried with Mimi last night, got heated. He's now trying with Matt. And of course, Matt is also not going to bite here. He is the person who pushed for it in the first place. But he gives all the same arguments, and Matt does the Matt thing where he's just like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. And it doesn't really go anywhere. But the point is that he's still trying at this point. The conversation never, we talked about this yesterday, the conversation never concluded. It literally just, they ran out of time because they all just needed to go to bed. So it's just continuing here in the morning.
Yeah. Wait, what part specifically is he trying to get people to agree with?
Jared's trying to get them to agree that keeping blue is better than keeping Jag.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he's the reasons, and I guess I'll reiterate the reasons from yesterday. But basically, his main arguments are: we can't trust Jag. We didn't trust him last week. Why would we trust him this week? He is a better competitor, yes, which will theoretically help us beat Red, but we don't need help beating Red. He's one guy. And then what happens after we beat Red? We still have Jag to deal with. And what happens if Jag wins and turns around and starts looking at us? Keeping blue is better because I trust blue more, and she'll be easier to take out later on. But Matt doesn't care about any of this because he's a lot closer to Matt than he is to blue. The twist
To Jag.
Yeah, sorry, Matt's closer to Jag than he is to blue.
Right.
The twist is then introduced to the house. They are told that the top 4 vote getters are going to be participating in some kind of competition to win a power. They don't know what the power is, but they know that they're being called in one by one to see if they were in the top 4 and will be competing in the power, or for the power. This is kind of what wrecks the day, because the feeds are in and out and they're just talking about this power. I first of all hate the twist, obviously. But I also don't think that, like, from a fairness perspective, I appreciate that they're being told. Sure. It's better that they know and that they can plan for it rather than, it coming completely out of the blue. On the other hand, not even that is that true. And if I'm looking at this from a producer angle, I do not understand why they're telling them ahead of time, because by telling them, you're just encouraging them to not keep it a secret. They all know this is happening now. They're going to be asking each other, "Did you make it? Did you make it?" And now it's going to be like they're just going to share all the information. Whoever wins is probably going to tell their alliance, and they're going to plot out how to use it. And guess what? A power where you can stop the eviction from happening basically just means that if you want to, you can go to the HOH and be like, "Hey, guess what? If you don't do what I want, I'm just going to make it null and void anyway."
Yeah.
And if you encourage people to talk about it, you're just encouraging them to realize that. Whereas if this was entirely secret and people were just called into the diary room throughout the day, and you were told you and a small number of people will be competing for a power, if you tell anyone, you're ineligible, and if you win, you have to keep it a secret, then they're going to keep it a secret, and they're not going to be able to use it in the same way, and it would genuinely shock the house, and it wouldn't make a situation where the entire week everyone knows it's pointless because they're just going to stop it. I don't understand why they make the decisions that they do, and that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, it's a half measure because, like you said, it's better for people to be able to plan for it, but they don't know what it is. They just know that there is one, so
Yeah.
they can't actually plan for it. It just sort of ruins the drama of the twist, and it's still not fair because they can't make plans based around it because they have no idea what it's going to be.
Yes, and we've had this big drama bubbling up, this fight between Blue and Jag. What's going to happen? And of course, as always happens in Big Brother, they introduce a twist, and the first conversation post-twist being introduced, Izzy talks to Suri. This twist changes everything. We should probably just drop this whole blue thing. We can't be taking risks like this right now. We should probably just play it safe, get rid of Jag, keep blue, stop pushing Jared, take the simpler route. And Suri's like, yeah, that's probably the case.
I also want to mention that the worst thing about this twist is that it makes conversations really confusing because you don't know if they're talking about America the player or America as a whole. There's a conversation later where Corey is like, America isn't able to organize the votes. Like, they just vote for their favorite. And at first I was like, what? Why is he shit talking his showmans? Like, oh God. There were so many of those moments. But yes, I to the twist's credit, I thought it was entertaining seeing who all the house guests think is popular.
Mm.
I like when we see who is self-aware and aware of like how other people are coming off and who isn't, which obviously it's not fair because they don't know what's being aired on the show. But I think you see that like Suri has a much better read on, she's saying, I think it's going to be this person, this person, this person. And then there are other people that are like, oh, Red's a shoo-in for sure. And it's like, who? For maybe the Facebook casuals, I don't know. But I do like it. And it made me wish that there was like, you could like bet on who you think is going to get it. And then you get like a prize if you bet correctly. Something like that to get like, no, I'm serious. I
That
think it
would
would
be
be
fun.
yeah, I think it would be fun to see who has the best read on like who is popular.
That would genuinely be a way better way of determining the twist, which would be like, hey, the audience votes for their favorite, and if you are able to like the most accurately predict the top 4,
Mhm.
you get the power. So
Yeah,
America's vote doesn't determine who gets the power. It's like whoever can predict. That's fun.
there you go, producers. You're welcome.
And then that would make for a great segment for the show too. Way better than a dumb comp that nobody cares about. It would be like, well, obviously the audience hates this person. Meanwhile, they're a fan favorite.
Yeah,
And everyone must love Red. Cut to like Red saying "womanly wiles."
yeah,
Like it would be a great time.
yeah, and it would be an opportunity to make Jared look even dumber because he. We'll get to that conversation later. But Jared is one of the people with the worst reads on who America likes.
All right. So the twist the twist is already killing the flip and killing the drama from the day before. But Jared doesn't know that yet. And so he's going to go to Corey, still concerned. And he says, "Corey, I feel like it's not a given that Blue's staying. People are considering trying to flip the vote." And Corey's like, "What? Who?" He says, "Everybody. I mean, Matt's already talked to me about it." And Corey's like, "Oh, well, of course, Matt. That's not of course. He's locked in with them. Like he's not going to make a move without them." And Mimi's already talked to me about it. I would not be surprised if she wanted it to happen. And Corey's like, "Why are you speaking in riddles? That's ridiculous. Where are the votes? They would need us in order to make the flip happen." And Jared's like, "I'm telling you, Izzy's in on it too. You think Izzy would save Jag? Why wouldn't she? Why would
Why would
she?
she?
Because Jag is a stronger competitor. She's literally said this to me." No, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do this. It would piss you off. I don't think there's a chance. And Jared is getting frustrated. It's like, I don't know, brother. I don't know. I haven't been wrong with these things just yet. So, and Corey says, "I think you're wrong on this one." Okay.
Why
Yeah, I think
is
that's wrong.
Jared
It's not happening.
doing this? Also, like, I
Well,
get
he's
that.
trying to make sure. Izzy told him the day before, "We're going to go around you to get votes to get rid of Blue." So Jared is trying to like talk to Corey about the vote and see where he stands on it. Like if they approach you for this vote, I think they're going to. Will you be with me? Essentially. But Corey refuses to even engage or believe Jared that this flip is even happening.
Yeah, but I think for Jared, like, all this does is make it like more likely that Corey is like, oh, if that's what's happening, then I'm gonna go with the house.
Well, I think he's trying to say like this. There's a flip that's in the works. They might like. I think this is the opener to the conversation,
Yeah,
right? Like, I think there's a flip in the works. How do you feel about it? So that he can then give his arguments for why Blue should stay.
right. But Corey's
But
not even giving him an opening to do that because he's like, this
exactly.
isn't a conversation that needs to happen.
And Jared is getting very frustrated by this, I think. And honestly, like, rightfully so. What is Corey doing? Like, Corey is shutting Jared down for no reason. The second Jared said Izzy, Corey had a visible reaction. Like, no, not Izzy. Nope. And
He's
it's like,
operating on a Dr. Will level that you just can't understand, Taran.
I guess so, because it's like this is why I gave Corey a 3 last night. And when and this is the thing too. Corey knows Jared. He knows who Jared is. And you should never be saying to Jared, nope, I think you're just wrong on this one.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to ever do that. Even if you think he is dead wrong, be like, okay, that's interesting. Let's investigate. Let's
Also,
think
you
about it.
should not just with Jared, that's general Big Brother strategy
Yeah.
is to like take people's ideas seriously.
Um, so America joins the conversation in a little bit. Jared is still clearly annoyed. They're speculating about who might be chosen for the competition. And that's when Jared says, I don't think it would be you, Corey. I don't think you have the personality to be a fan favorite.
Yeah. So when I first saw this, I didn't realize that it was right after the conversation we just talked about. So Jared is
Mhm.
already frustrated with
Yes.
Corey. I was like, oh my God, he's being such an asshole, which he
I mean,
is.
he was, yeah.
Which he definitely is, but I was just like, why? Why are you being such a dick? Um, but yeah, he's like, you don't have the personality for it. There's no chance America would like you. America, the country, not the person.
Maybe that's
But
why Corey took it so personally. He
yeah,
thought he was
he
talking about
misunderstood.
America, America.
Yeah. Um, but yes, both Americas love Corey.
Mm.
So this is obviously wrong from Jared, but he is lashing out because he's unhappy with Corey, but it is very personal. Like Jared is gonna say, like, Corey, you're taking it too personally, but he literally says, like, your personality is unlikable. Like
Yeah,
that's what he
that's
says.
what personal means.
Yeah, he is insulting his personality and saying you are not the kind of person that America would vote for.
Yeah. Obviously, this I think stems from the fact that he was frustrated with Corey, but it also I think stems from a long or like a deep seated sort of insecurity about Corey in the first place. That like when Corey talked to Jared about how like no judgment to you, but you know, doing stuff on camera not really my thing. Not really the kind of guy that would like get physical with a girl just for the sake of it. Ever since then, Jared had been pretty weird to Corey, especially about women. And the way that he talks about Corey is very like emasculating a lot of the time. And so the idea that Corey might be more popular than him, I think, is probably very upsetting to Jared, especially when he's already frustrated with him. And so, in front of America, he makes this comment, and I think probably in part because Corey was also frustrated with the previous conversation, and it's also in front of America. Corey does take it personally, and he's like, "Oh yeah, because your personality is so dynamic, Jared." And the feeds cut, they come back, America's gone, and they're still arguing about it. And Corey's like, you're just so sure of yourself that you're so sure that I'm not going to be. I'm not saying I'm going to be in it. I don't think I'm going to be in it, but like, you're so sure, like you're being so definitive about it. And he's like, I'm not being definitive. It's just my opinion. You're taking it personally. And they're just going back and forth. And it's just like, I mean, my thing is, I expect this from Jared. I don't expect this from Corey. I expect better from Corey, especially in a spot where his position is so dire and he hasn't seen it yet. Um, you know, I expect Corey to understand that like if he sees you this way, great. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah, I don't mind it because somebody needs to check Jared. Like
I get that too. And like on a personal level, I love that Corey's gonna stand up for himself if this were outside of the house. But this is not the time. You just got
yeah.
warned that you're out of the loop twice in a row.
Yeah, I think this conversation is a really great example of like and people aren't gonna there's gonna be a certain sect of people that are annoyed with me for talking about this, but the way that Jared and Corey perform masculinity are super different,
Mhm.
and it makes Jared insecure because he performs super conventional
Yeah.
masculinity, including like misogyny and, just adhering to these sort of masculine principles. Whereas Corey, I thought was gay for the first couple weeks of this show. That's fine. That's not an insult, obviously. But it's a very different way of performing masculinity, and I think it tracks with how Jared talks about women is that he's also demeaning to men who are not like super aggressively heterosexual and masculine. And just one of those ways that misogyny also hurts men is that if a guy doesn't like the way that women behave, he's not going to like it when a man behaves in any sort of feminine way, whether that be wearing pink or being sensitive or, whatever. And meanwhile, Corey is getting the hottest girl in the house. So
Absolutely, yeah, definitely co-sign that. And that because I think that is it's what when Corey was saying like I'm very comfortable and fine with my own way of interacting with America and the situation. It I think it frustrates Jared, and there's a reason it's called like conventional values or like old fashioned values because it's like
traditional.
yeah, like, because they're very concerned with keeping the status quo of the past, and not allowing new values to flourish, and so, anybody that expresses those new values, especially confidently, needs to be put down.
And
Um
Jared is jealous because he's like, I've been locked into all of these structures, being told
mhm.
that this is what I'm supposed to do. And you are not. You have a lot more freedom, but you're still thriving and getting girls and all of these things. So that makes people feel remorseful because they've been tricked into, upholding these certain standards.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is one of my favorite topics, so we could go on forever. But like, boys are told from a young age that they need to act a certain way, and they're punished for not acting that certain way, and so they learn how to act the certain way, because that's the way that they're told to act, and they're told that if they do that, then they'll get the rewards that they're supposed to get. And then when other people are like, no, that's actually a bad way to act, and they don't get the rewards, they're like, what the hell? I am a martyr. I've been sacrificing my emotional well-being in
Mhm.
order to be the thing that you're supposed to be, and you're not giving me the thing I'm supposed to get from it. What the hell?
Yeah.
And they respond very negatively.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm not talking about Suri or her husband or anything like that. This is like a
Society.
very broadly
Yeah.
social thing. This is not just parents. Parents can obviously help you know, create an environment that is easier for these people, but yeah, I hate the people who go and blame Suri for this
Mhm.
because I know some really shitty people that have wonderful mothers and vice versa. Great mothers that the kids turn out how they turn out. So there's a lot of factors here.
Yes. All right. Well, that's happening there. The point of all of this is to say that the relationship between Jared and Corey is severely fractured at this point. Jared was the one person who was still sticking up for Corey to Izzy and Suri and the rest of the group, saying that he feels like he can trust Corey and that Corey is still his person. But after this interaction, feeling like Corey's not listening to him, and then getting into this little fight, and then later speculating that maybe Corey was chosen by America and not him, is all going to lead toward a single destination. And we'll get there in just a bit. Jared is going to talk to Jag after his conversation with Corey. He's struck out in every single direction. He talked to Suri. She got mad at him. And he talked to Izzy and she didn't buy in. He talked to Mimi. It got heated. She didn't buy in. He had talked to Felicia. She didn't buy his arguments. He talked to Matt this morning. He didn't buy his arguments. He was told by Izzy they're going to go around him to make Blue go home. He went to Corey to try to talk to him and he got shut down by Corey. And so now he's like, maybe this is a losing battle. And he goes to Jag and says, listen, Jag, I've been thinking maybe it's time for me to lose Blue. And it felt to me like he was genuinely starting to hedge his bets because he really thought this might be over. Luckily for him, the twist came in and helped save his whole situation.
Mhm.
But he goes to Jag and he's like, yeah, I think Blue leaving might be good for my game. Everyone seems on board with this plan. I'm definitely like down to make this happen.
Yeah. He's starting to acknowledge that it might not be happening. But like to be fair to him with this house, like you can never actually be sure.
Yeah. And I
So
mean,
like I understand him like hedging, but also like especially with the twist, like not being ready to let the blue thing go completely.
oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't think he's giving up in this moment, but I think that like he's starting to feel like he might lose, and wants to make sure that he's you know, not portrayed as having fought back and on the losing side. Um, so Izzy's gonna talk to Corey. And even though she's feeling like she's probably gonna want to give up, she very lightly brings up the topic of Jag, and how like what if Jag were to stay? And he says, "Oh, I don't want Jag to stay." Oh, why? Like this, I'm mad at him. He keeps lying to me. I've given him so many opportunities to tell me about the 7 deadly sins. He doesn't. And then he's ratting me out to you guys. Like I want him gone. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, question, where is Blue during all of this? I didn't see her campaigning at all.
Listen. Blue is busy bonding with her mother-in-law, future mother-in-law, sister of Denzel Washington.
First of her name. Mother of Dragons / Jared. Yeah, okay. She's just chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I mean, look, she had the conversation with America in the morning. She had a cam talk where she talked about like, what if we made like a showmance alliance between me and Jared and America and Court? And it's like, yeah, actually, that would be good. You actually would do it.
Hopefully Jared and Corey don't get into any sort of argument later.
So the Corey seems like a dead end as well, and this is gonna theoretically be the end of this this flip for now, at least. Jared does eventually find out that he did not get a power. He was not in the top 4. And he is going to be talking about it for the rest of the day. I don't know. I just thought that you know, people would be like, oh, well, he could save his mom. He could save his showmance. Like, you know,
Then we'll vote for your mom and your showmance.
No, the man has to do the saving.
If those are who we want. Oh my God. Jared, you probably were not in the top 12.
And he's sure that Corey got it. He's like, oh, Corey. And by the way, as they're calling people into the diary room, I would be sure that Corey got it. He was feeling himself. He's been feeling himself ever since the America stuff. He was extra feeling himself after the diary room. He was like very jovial, having conversations. Like he got it. We knew he got it even before it seemed like he was telling America that he got it.
Right.
And everyone in the house also knew.
Yeah. So was that before or after? We know Suri got it, right?
Suri also got it. Suri tells Izzy that she got it. She was in.
Okay, so we know Suri, Corey, and then we think Jag, right?
Jag is a maybe. So if to stop down on this for a second, Suri tells Izzy, and Suri and Matt have a conversation where Matt tells Suri, I got in as well. She tells Matt, me too. So Suri and Matt are definite. Later in the night, Corey, there are a couple moments with Corey. First of all, the general demeanor. Second, he was talking to the cameras and they cut away. It seemed like he was about to talk about it. And then later in the night, he's talking to America and he says, hey, America, not you, will bail us out. And she said, he was like, I guess America loves the fomance. And she said, no, they love the Corey, which seems like a pretty clear indication that they had talked about him getting it, being in the top 4. But they're trying to cut around this and not confirm anything. But seems pretty clear that the definites are Suri and Matt.
Mm-hmm.
The almost definite is Corey. And then the 4th is a little up in the air. Some people suspect that Felicia might be there. Some people think it might be Jag, particularly because, I mean, you know, just theoretically, he's on the block. He's in the chicken suit on the episodes. But also, he was having a conversation with Bowie and I think Red in the scary room, and they were talking about who might have gotten it, and he said, not me. They're like, oh man, we thought it might have been you. And then they leave, and he kind of looks at the cameras and gives like a little bit of a smirk. But the thing about the smirk was if we're gonna act like we're Suri with the HOH monitor and be like, this is it, we got him. The thing about the smirk to me was, yes, it could have been yeah, I did get it, but it also felt to me even more so could have been yep, didn't get it. Cause like he was still not like he gave the look to the cameras, but it wasn't like a broad smile and it wasn't like a happy smirk. And right after he was like still pretty downtrodden, like, and then he later told Blue in private, she's like, be honest, did you get it? He was like, no, I really didn't. I'm not gonna lie, I got my hopes up. I thought I might have, but I didn't. So it's not impossible that he got it. He's still probably one of the top contenders, but the other suspicion is on Felicia, some of the things that she's been saying. She's been a big presence in the episodes. But you would have thought that she would have told as well. But maybe she would keep it to herself, especially now that we know she doesn't trust Suri as much. So it's we're not entirely sure.
I would think, just based on the internet's reaction, that Felicia is a lot more likely than Jag. But you also can never underestimate an underdog in America voting.
Yeah.
In terms of like somebody that's on the block and in a costume and all that.
Yes. The other thing worth noting here about this is that for a little while, and maybe even still, people suspect that Suri might have won the thing because later in the day, she was alone in the comic room after a lengthy period of feeds being out. And she was like very giddy and was like, thank you, America. As though there was like new information, because this was hours and hours and hours after she had discovered that she was in the top 4, that like maybe she had gone ahead and actually won something, or maybe that like Matt had won and told her, and so she was just very happy because she had control of the power. But that is not confirmed at this point. We don't even know if they've played yet right now. It seems like they're going to continue to try to just cut around as much as possible to avoid getting us confirmation as much as they can.
We know that it's a carnival game, not a puzzle. If it was a puzzle, then I would feel a lot more confident Suri winning. But she and Matt did have a conversation where she was like, how do you think it went? And Matt was like, I think it went well. And Suri was like, I think I was really slow. So I have no idea, but you can't tell with those kinds of things because you have no idea what like I would be surprised if Suri won. I think probably Matt won, and she's just happy that it's not going to impact her plans.
Very much could be the case, but ultimately we do not know for sure about it. So that is about what we know for now. The point though would be that like because the thing is too is like when Corey was saying to America, like America will bail us out. It's like, well, do you know you lost already, or do you not know yet? Because why would you say that if you know that you didn't get it? Would you say that if you know that you did get it, or are you just saying that like theoretically there might be another twist that you might win from the audience? Because I know you're smarter than that. It's hard to say where things are at this point. But obviously, if Suri or Matt were to win it, then we're in for some pretty straightforward, or at least we know where the weeks are going to be going. And Corey also at this point probably wouldn't really use it either. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Speaking of Corey, though, Jared, who is still upset that he wasn't included in the top 4, says to Izzy, I'm starting to agree with moms about Corey, that he's not to be trusted. It's just I just don't think it's worth it. And Izzy says, yes, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I've talked to Corey about the end game, and he talks about how he can't beat Suri and he can't beat you, and he needs to cut you both, and he can beat me, and all of this stuff. And Jared's like, yeah, and like, what is he even doing for me? Like, he says he's not winning comps, so what does he even do for me? Nothing. He's moving way up on the hit list. They agree. Yes, Corey's moving way up on the hit list. He's basically right after Red and Cam for them, which is not a good place to be, of course, because the wrong veto win or change of idea or passionate plea from Red to his mother Suri could lead to a Corey on the block easily as early as next week.
Sure. I don't put a lot of stock in these people making plans for next week already. They can't even figure out what's going on this week. But I don't know. I hope not. I like Corey.
Yeah. Well, Suri is going to talk to Mimi. They reiterate, or she reiterates that she's all about the brown sugar babes. That they want to, stick together. I think Suri is realizing that with Felicia wandering a little bit, she needs to make sure she's got the other pieces in place. And she's right, because Felicia is wandering to Mimi. So keeping Mimi locked in would be good. So she talks to Mimi about that. Mimi, freshly Felicia'd, talks about how isn't Izzy kind of a problem? Because they're concerned that Suri is too close to Izzy and that she's going to choose Izzy over them. And Suri says she absolutely is a problem. We might need to let her go at some point because she is just a liability, which is exactly what I think Mimi wants to hear. So Suri, of course, does well in a conversation. Who would have guessed? Felicia joins and they talk about the vote again. Talk again about how the twist changes things. They probably shouldn't be pushing. They don't want to take the first shot anymore. They should probably just keep things calm, keep blue. Even Felicia and Mimi at this point are reluctantly agreeing that they should probably keep blue around. Once again, this twist talk or this twist has really killed the flip talk.
Okay, so do you think that this is the right move for them?
I do
Settling
actually.
on
I think
keeping
that
blue?
they,
Okay.
yeah, I think that they have backed into the right move. Well, for them, I should say for Suri, because Jared
That's
does
all I
have
care about. That's what I mean.
Jared does have a good hold on blue, so I think for Suri it is the right call. For Felicia and Mimi, this is unfortunate. I think that Felicia and Mimi would have benefited pretty highly from getting blue out of the game, but what are they going to do? But this is, again, it's a situation. They're all kind of agreeing like this twist is too dangerous. Jared doesn't agree. But we are still in a situation like America does still want Jag to stay. They can get America's vote probably. Corey doesn't because Jag screwed up and ratted them out. But like, it's not impossible that they get those votes. Not to mention the fact, I will reiterate that Red and Cam don't care. If you talk to them about it and you said we really want Jag to stay, they'd be like, sure, we can do that, and they'd vote for Jag to stay. It's so easy, but nobody is making it happen.
The hallmark of an amazing Big Brother player is when you're HOH and you don't care who goes home.
Hey, if you don't care, you can't lose.
I guess, and you also can't win. Yeah, so what you're saying is it's time for America's vote. Because they have to every time you say it. That's what goes through my head. They have to go work on America's vote.
Jared's gonna have a conversation with America and Matt about live feeds. And talks about how much can they see. America says they can see everything. He's like, well, not if you're under the covers. He says, listen, even if people are watching live, they can only speculate what's happening under there. So who cares? They can only speculate. Hopefully they aren't catching me in blue live. Just kidding.
Oh my God. They can only speculate what's happening under the like they're building Legos under there. Like
they're playing rock, paper, scissors. And
over
then
and over again
cleaning
at
up
rapidly
because
increasing speed.
it was a very intense game of rock, paper, scissors, and they just got a little sweaty, and you just needed to wipe up the sweat.
Yes, that's the bodily fluid that they're wiping up.
Yes. You can only speculate. You don't know for sure. It could be rock, paper, scissors.
Is that what the kids are calling it now? I'm sure that there were rocks involved. And getting them off. Probably not a lot of scissoring.
Is this Jared speaking to his 7-year relationship from the house? Listen, is this a preview of the conversation? Listen, you can only speculate what happened under those blankets. You don't know for sure.
Wait, is Jared in a relationship?
Yeah, he was.
Oh God.
So was Blue.
Oh,
kind of.
Boy. Wow. Yeah.
Kind of for both of them, I guess, but yeah.
situationships.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into the Big
A
Brother
7-year
house
situation.
a 7-year situationship. Oh my God. It's the sequel to the 7-year
She was
itch.
running his social media and has his dog.
He's never getting his dog back. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's wild. Who's running his social media now? Nobody?
I guess, I don't know. I haven't been checking. But he's still shouting her out on the episodes. And he was talking to Blue about, like, would you be upset if I wished her happy birthday?
Oh my God. I mean, look, some people are poly. I'm not gonna, much like what's under the covers, I'm not gonna
certainly not
speculate.
Jared, who cares a lot about body count.
But that's for you, not for me, with those kinds of men.
True.
You know, they're like, when I do it, it's because I'm great and a stud, and when you do it, it's gross. You icky slut.
So that's happening there. And then for our final very frustrating conversation, Corey and America are going to be hanging out at night as they do. And America's like, so this 7-person alliance we're in, it's not an alliance. We haven't talked. We haven't met. They don't talk to me. Like, this is not good. Like, America is seeing the signs that this is not good, that they are not actually protected, that they might be in trouble. At the very least, they're at the very bottom of this structure. And what she wants to do is win HOH and just throw, like, Cirie and Izzy on the block and break up the entire thing. Cirie and Izzy are completely insulated from the entire house. They're in so many different alliances. And that puts them in a good place and us not in a good place. So we need to do something to shake that up. And she is 100% correct. But Corey says, no, you're 100% wrong. You should not be doing that. That is way too risky. Once you do that, what do we do after that? Hope that Cameron and Redwin, like, put our money on them? Like, she's like, no, that's not a good plan. It's like, no, it is a good plan. Because if you put Cirie and Izzy on the block, it breaks everything wide open and you restructure the house. That's how the game works.
But I hate it, so I'm with Corey. Corey is a genius.
And Corey is like talking her down, talking her out of doing this move that she should be doing. And now all of a sudden, Corey is bringing America's game down.
Okay, but here's the thing. There are so many people that were like, if I was cast on this season of Big Brother, I would just lay down my life for Cirie. And now we're mad that Corey's doing it.
Well,
no, this is great.
You know, the thing is, right? Like, at least Izzy is doing it on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Corey, he wants to beat Cirie.
He's just
been tricked by her.
There's no shame in getting tricked by Cirie.
Also fair. But it's annoying that he's talking America out of being tricked. Or he's talking America into being tricked by Cirie.
Done what he's set out to do, which is beat Zach. And
yes.
now he could do whatever he wants. Yes, I'm sure you're correct that this is stupid, but if Cirie and Izzy go on the block, I will be very upsetty spaghetti.
I could tell based on your reaction because you were like, wait, America wants to do what?
I'm sorry.
Corey's talking her down. Great.
I've been standing America, and now I feel like we might have to slow that roll.
So that's kind of where things are. I mean, Corey, despite multiple warnings from Jared, and now America telling him, like, her read on this situation is still just so locked in. I feel like hasn't reevaluated the game since last week. And he still sees like he is a week behind right now. Like, this is the saddest thing. Corey is further behind in the game on game knowledge than Jag.
Dun, dun, dun.
Jag, the guy who was perpetually late to game knowledge, is now ahead of Corey in the line. I mean, even Red at this point knows a little bit more than Corey.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Corey's banking on having all this knowledge to dump if he ever gets betrayed. But this knowledge that he has is becoming more and more outdated by the day. And by the time he dumps it, it might be so outdated that nobody cares anymore. And so it is not looking good.
Yeah. Is Bowie alive?
Oh, Bowie Jane. Yeah, she's alive.
Bowie
She's just
around?
hanging out.
Okay.
She's hanging
Okay.
out with Red
Literally
and Cam.
haven't mentioned her name the whole time.
She came up when they were reading lips on the monitor. She came up and hung out with them. She also had a conversation with Suri. She still just feels like she's hanging out in the alliance but getting closer to Red and Cam. And people still don't like her, and they I don't remember if I mentioned this yesterday, but they've all, not all, but most of them have figured out she's lying about her age at this point, and that there's no way she's in her 30s.
Geniuses.
I think complaining about bedtime was the thing that did it for everyone. Like, that was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she's just eepy though. You can be in your 20s and 30s and be eepy.
Eepy?
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Internet slang for sleepy.
Why?
I didn't make it up. It's a thing.
No, I believe you. I believe
Okay.
you. It's like you really needed to, like you just needed to get rid of the soul, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
anyway, people in their 30s are allowed to be eepy, but they generally don't complain about bedtime to a bunch of people that they know it will annoy.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you wanted to bring up from yesterday?
Not from yesterday. I'm just sad I wasn't here for all the hookups.
Oh, I mean, we can talk in detail about Blue and Jared if you want.
Not that one.
Did you have an opinion on the method of cleaning?
What was it, like paper towels on sheets or something? Why don't you just wash
debate
the
has
sheets?
raged. Well, I don't know. I mean, that would have been way more obvious. But also, like, I don't. He probably doesn't know how
to do laundry.
I don't know. If you think that wiping it down with some Clorox wipes is going to be adequate for a publicly used couch, then I don't feel confident about your cleanliness in general.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, you also don't want like chemicals like Clorox like in and around your sensitive parts. So that's like not the greatest strategy.
Yeah.
That's not the showmance that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, it's not? What? Didn't you see Rob's video on Twitter?
Yes,
Popular.
I did. And I loved the person that said that they were unsubscribing and that they hope his family starves. Literally incredible. Yeah, I know Rob is big on the fan cams. I like America and Corey. I hope that Corey gets over his camera shyness because we need
you want him
some entertainment that is not Jared and Blue.
But at that point that I mean, Melissa was saying last night she likes the will they won't they, and doesn't want them to go full will they. She wants to keep the tension.
Dr. Will they?
That was worse than my Blue puns.
Okay, that's fine. I have no interest in tension. We want confirmed coitus on feeds.
Just straight away. Rock, paper, scissors.
Well, not straight away. It's been 28 days. You don't sleep with somebody on the 28th date? Listen,
I just feel like it says something about you if you sleep with somebody on the 28th day. It's just, it's just not for me. It's just a preference. Just a preference.
Who is saying America and Corey is like Alyssa and Kyle? There's like at least 80% less racism in this showman than Alyssa and Kyle. I'm not going to say there's none. I don't know these people, but I mean, come on, guys. Let's take it down a notch.
I mean, they did comment how they were cuddling in the same spot, just, on a bed and on a swinging bed instead of a floaty.
I have very similar tastes to America because she could have anybody in the house. Not that there's a lot of great options now that I'm looking at the board. But she could have anybody in the world. She's going for Corey. And then somebody had found a tweet on her Big Brother Twitter account that said that Derek X had a chokehold on her. So I get her. I understand.
I liked Claire quote tweeting that, saying same.
Same. Yeah. Taste.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever stand America.
All right. Well, that's what we have for you then. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. I'll, of course, be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything that happens today on the Big Brother 25 live feeds. I'll also be live tonight, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, watching tonight's episode where we will probably see the secret being revealed. And, who knows, maybe even some cleanup. No. But it should be an interesting episode here that we should watch. So come and watch it on Twitch with me. And then, of course, we'll be live after the episode to recap what goes down. You can also check out the roundtable from last night. For once, it's not outdated already. And I had a lot to say and a lot of ones to give out to terrible players. And then, of course, tomorrow, we're going to have an eviction episode. So plenty of stuff coming your way. You can find me over on Twitter at Armstrong Taran or on Instagram if you want to look over there. Lita, what have you got going on?
Taran's getting jacked over on Instagram Reels. You guys are missing out. He's climbing stuff. End of list. That's pretty much all he's doing. But he figured out how to make Reels, and we're all very proud.
I did, yeah.
Good job.
And unlike YouTube Shorts, oh no, there is a limit. It's like 90 seconds.
Are YouTube Shorts what?
YouTube is 60 seconds.
What Cameron gave Blue?
Okay, that one's better than my Blue ones.
Thank you. Yes, if you are interested in my womanly ways, you can follow me. In my womanly wiles, you can follow me on Instagram. Although my womanly wiles are mostly relegated to my close friend stories, so you guys are gonna have to get to know me a little better. But that is on Lita Grammed. You can follow me on Twitter at Lita Tweeted. I think that's it. I don't really have anything to promote. Stay safe if you're in the hurricane. Somebody hire me. I'm currently job hunting. So I'd like to plug giving me money.
Not a bad plug. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all again for joining us here today. And I will see all of you next time.